We talked on Friday and it's now Monday, right?
Yes,
And last time we talked, you had been binging over a week straight every single day.
yes, I have been.
And we talked about survival and placing the need for food below your need to lose weight. And then the reason why you have such a vicious, awful cycle between and binging, right? Because the need for food is bigger in terms of survival
Right.
than losing weight. So it's kind of like you're not going to convince yourself. There's no amount of convincing that will actually make what you're doing bigger than the survival with food, correct?
Yes, survival will always win.
With food.
With food.
It pretty much trumps everything, to be honest with you. Food and water. Trumps everything. So tell me how you've been since we talked.
Well, I have not binged. I would still say there were times when I ate more than I really needed to, or for, whatever reason did not stop. But from a binge perspective, I did not. And I think that was a little bit of progress. And it also really, even though we've talked about it, it really occurred to me yet again that the only way I'm getting out of this is if I don't care what my body looks like. And I keep coming back to, okay, but I can, look at the hunger scale. I can be telling myself, it's fine. I'm great. It doesn't really matter. All's well. But nothing is gonna move me forward until that is removed.
Yeah, correct. And I know, doesn't it? Don't you love that truly is the only way out?
It is.
And it's clear as day now, right?
Yes, it is clear as day, and it's difficult and frustrating going back to the, when it gets about, it gets about me or gets about us, is that I see that and thinking that it is as easy as just being like, okay, that's it then. I'm just not gonna think that I, would like to or need to lose weight and all's well. That hasn't happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating because I know that's the only way that it's going to. And so I keep thinking, which puts pressure, but I keep thinking the sooner I can do that, the sooner I'm free. And freedom is what I want.
Yeah. Well, you have to contemplate. You kind of have to isolate yourself in. When I say you have to shut all doors to exit, that's what I'm talking about. You have to look at this in the eye. You have to look at the main source of this, which means that you are basically saying, I will never reach the pearly gates of heaven through being thin. That is not a route. I will never take that route again. So I'm going to have to find the pearly gates of heaven either now, because that's really where happiness is, or I transfer my problem to some other high overreaching expectation, right? But when you leave this goal, when you leave the path of body image, you are essentially telling the body you have that it is completely free from condition, except that you hope it lives to give you more experience, right? So
Yes.
what do you want to place as a condition with the body? Because that's another part of this. You have to look at if you're going to eliminate a bunch of conditions with the body you're in for you to be happy with it, well then what are you going to use to be happy with it now?
Well, I mean, I would be happy if I understood it, or if I wasn't, if I could understand what it is that it needs, like if I literally could understand it, not just.
So do you honestly think that your brain is capable of understanding completely the full needs of a human body?
Well, no. I mean, I think I would mean as it relates to hunger or maybe.
So do you think that knowledge occurs first before you let go of the body image, just obsession?
No.
Okay.
No.
So what you're saying is, I will let go when I'm completely like an expert at eating to hunger, but is that even possible unless you let go? So if you let go of the body image...
Right, that is not going to happen, I understand, yeah.
Okay, so erase what you just said from your thoughts, because you're creating yet another roadblock for yourself. Right? Because the only way to access functional eating is to remove body image security.
Right.
So you can't say, well, I'll let go of the security with my body image when I'm really good at eating to hunger.
Right. Yeah,
it's like saying, I'll stop spending my money when I have enough saved.
Right.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Right. In which case, back to the answer that I would see is that I don't have any conditions. I mean, I can't because I'm not in control of what it does. There's situations I can control, be it, skiing down a mountain without ever doing it before, or, there's certain things I can help with, but I can't control anything that it does.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, in my head, I made a contract, right, with the body I was in. And my contract with this body was just consciousness. I even remember thinking, because the risk of my brain was so conditioned to fearing fat, that if I stopped everything I was doing to go into the vulnerability of learning to eat to hunger, without having that knowledge ahead of time, right? What I mean is the knowledge of eating to hunger ahead of time, because you don't know it until you let go of the body image. You have to learn it without the pressure of body image. The risk, what I was willing to take was a body that was not able to move on its own. I mean, I went into the body of a 500-pound person. And with that goes, well, what if I'm stuck on a wheelchair? Okay. As long as I'm conscious, then I have reward and pleasure. As long as I have a means to feed myself and to protect myself from the elements, and I'm good enough. I don't even need other people. I just want to approve of myself, and in that approval of myself and the body, whatever body I have, in that is the pearly gates of heaven.
Yes,
because that's freedom.
I agree with that 100 million gazillion %.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I want is my own approval.
Okay, so what you do is it's like writing a contract with the body you're in, that you have absolutely no expectations other than consciousness. Meaning you're aware of your life that you're living. And at some point, your consciousness with this body, the contract's going to end, because the body's body side of the contract is over.
Right.
Right? But that's all you want. If you're conscious, you're happy. So with that, if that is your new contract with the body you're in, that's what else does it need to do?
Nothing. I mean, it just has to be conscious.
That's it. So where are you at? Are you getting a grade A+ here?
Well, this, I mean, that makes sense, and it is clicking from if that is all I require, that is not a difficult thing for my body to do. It is more difficult for me to say that's my expectation. Now you just go and figure it out, because I'm going to be over here free from thinking about that anymore. You go have fun, and I'll be over here being free.
Correct. You go figure out how to keep me breathing today. Let me know when I need to eat. I'll do that. If I need to go pee, just give me the sensation and I'll go to the bathroom. And when I'm tired, I'll go to sleep. If I'm thirsty, I'll eat. And basically, you now have this beautiful, loving, team-oriented relationship with the body you have on this planet. And so what happens if that is your source of security with your body, that's it, and you feel very secure in that, to where you believe that is the safest place for your relationship with your body to be, and you believe that wholeheartedly, does it matter if someone doesn't like the way you look?
No, not at all.
Okay. Does it matter if the body image ideal cult says you're unhealthy?
No.
Okay. What happens when you go to the beach and want to wear a bathing suit?
I would venture to guess I would not care.
You don't care because you want,
because cross my mind to care.
No, because you're not going for a physical experience as much as you are a conscious experience. The physical experience you have because your skin receives touch and temperature and wind and smells, and it's actually giving to you pleasure. It provides a ton of pleasure. And part of having a body is also pain. You cut your finger off, that's going to hurt. You get a burn, that's going to hurt too. But we could even argue that is part of keeping you alive, because it's got its own natural warning system to tell you to stop doing what you're doing and to continue to do what you're doing, right?
Right.
Can you hear these dogs in the background?
Yeah, a little bit.
They're playing, so at least they're not barking. And with that, it's like, so now how much grace do you have on your part to learn to recognize the body's messaging of food?
Well, I have a lot of grace, and
does it have to be perfect?
I put while you were talking, I put it together that is probably why I'm having what I would say a heart. I thought it would be super easy to listen to my body's hunger, but I'm thinking that is still the block, and once the block is gone, releasing and writing my contracts, whatever that's going to be to my body, is that once that is done and my agreement is my agreement, that there is no longer a struggle with, how do I feel? There's still a learning curve, but not in the same way.
Correct. The learning curve is so full of love and grace for you because you haven't developed this. And it's so understandable that why you haven't. It's not like you just suck. It's not a matter of you sucking. You just need the space and time to learn this with love and with the freedom of figuring it out. And you can't afford to have the pressure of a body image. And what I mean, don't forget, this includes health image. The pressure of a health image, right?
Yes, right.
You can't afford to even use your health as a motivation because your body's pretty dang healthy under the circumstances. So,
oh, for sure.
Yeah. And so tell me this. How does this feel now?
I feel like I need to lock myself in a room for as long as it takes and have a CTJ, a come to Jesus with myself, and say, okay, what is it? Let's do this. What is it that I'm gonna require of you, so that I don't have to require it of myself, because it's not my job.
Correct. Yeah, and you are not equipped. Right, we're not equipped intellectually, psychologically, emotionally to run the show. We're nowhere close to capable. It's like taking a 5-year-old and asking it to do heart surgery.
Right. Right.
I know.
So I feel like a couple weeks ago, when I feel like I had it very close to me, and then I feel like I um, just lost it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Things
what that means is that you didn't make the decision, that you just put your beliefs around body image on hold or on a shelf. So you had a temporary period of peace, right? That feeling of euphoria that I describe and other people describe.
Right.
It's almost like there's the anxiety is gone, panic is gone. Perfectionism is, for the first time that you can recall, is no longer even there. You're more laid back. You go from type A to type B personality. I mean, am I wrong?
No, that's totally right.
So it's instantaneous. Would you agree? It's like immediately, as soon as you say, I am not putting body image in my conscious peripheral vision. It's not even in my peripheral vision. You feel this incredible amount of peace, calm, security, and safety, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
But the moment body image walks in even to your peripheral vision, what happens to your sensory system?
Because then I go into the fight or flight.
You do.
I need to defend.
I need to keep my eye on that.
Right.
There's a threat there, and I'm not, and it's the threat of this, what I have sucks in comparison. This needs to change, and I can't eat those types of foods at some point, and then it just gets nuts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you got to be able to do is have those pictures in your peripheral vision and it not cause any problems at all. In fact, it could be in front of your face and you don't react to it. It's like, I will, no matter what the temptation is, I would rather stay fat than to even try to fix this. Right? When someone says, well, what if your really good friend says, oh my God, have you heard of the new sugar detox? We're going to do it. Oh my God, I've already lost 5 pounds. Come on, you should do it. It's like amazing. Like, I can't even tell you. I feel like this is the best thing I've ever done. It's changed my life. My marriage is better and my orgasms are better. I'm totally like reaching high states of consciousness without my sugar. Come with me. You should do it. Oh my God, everybody loves me better than you. You suck. I'm better. Right?
Yep. I have to be ready to say, great, I suck.
Or this. Great. I'm so happy for you. You go, girl. You go get that sugar detox. If that's what you feel is good for you, you should do that. Good luck.
That's funny because now that you say that, I do have one friend who probably a week and a half ago, shortly before I had my issues and started thinking about dieting again, who did just that. And she was like, come do this 21-day thing with me. I just finished it, and here's what I did, and it's great, and then, and that's what, that just piecing it again together the last two and a half weeks, I remember thinking, yeah, okay, I could do 21 days.
Okay, you see the correlation to your binge eating at all to that?
Now I am, because now I'm piecing together the past as to, of course that's what just happened.
Have you ever considered asking her how her 21-day detox is doing now?
Well, she's back on it.
Oh, so she went off and now she's back on. I mean, is this basically a lifelong?
A little class.
You know, to each their own learning curve. You've done all this before. So this is where you get to say, hey, I'm going to pull up my higher wisdom now. I have done all of this. I've done this before. What makes this new detox different than the last new detox you did 2 months ago? Prior to the new detox you did 2 years ago. What's the difference here?
Right. Well, and I am, it's funny because I accepted it as truth.
Well, that is the main issue, agreed? That you just assume everything's so damn credible, especially coming from the diet culture. So credible. The diet culture is got your
thing of, until that the approval of myself and that this is it. If this is it, then this is it. Or if I gain whatever, this is it. And without it, there can't be progress without that.
Correct. Well, you have to think, do you want to care?
No, I don't.
Stay focused right there. So what that means, if you don't want to care, what that means is that your body image, no matter where it fits in a spectrum of acceptability, has absolutely nothing to do with what's important in your life. It's not a need.
It's fine right now because it's going to be fine tomorrow too.
Of course. And it'll be fine in 2 years. And it would have been fine 20 years ago as well. So it's like it's still fine. In fact, nothing. You could probably look at your body today and say you've lived in it worse and felt better than you do today in a worse body.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come in. And you could say, and physically, your body has never had anything to do with your feelings of worse or better at all. Right. Those were perceptions that you bought into based on the detox program. This weight loss 30-day or 60-day fitness commitment, those have been more influential on your perceptions about your body than your body's existing health.
Right.
So, yeah, what you essentially are quitting is every means to fix your body. There is no means to fix it ever again. And you could say, but Robin, what if I end up with type 2 diabetes? What if I end up with like some metabolic issue? Well, you're assuming you're going to keep on binging.
Right.
Right? But what if I binge on everything? Because there's never again going to be any form of what's going to help me control this binging, right? So here's a vision to that. So let's just say for the rest of your life, you have the abundance of food. It's always going to be there. It's never going to go away. If you want donuts today, you can have them today, the next meal, the next meal, the next meal, tomorrow, the next day after that. What happens to the impulse to binge when you know it's going to be there perpetually fulfilled for the next 20, 50 years?
It goes away because it doesn't matter.
I know, because addiction isn't about the narcotic. It's about fulfilling a need. It's fulfilling the need.
Yes.
So when you get rid of this, I will never eat again. I will never eat again. I cannot have that. I cannot have that. What happens to the urge to shove it down your face until it's gone?
Well, it's life or death.
Well, you don't do it anymore. When you have it there forever.
You said the opposite.
Yes. So it's like, okay, those little biscuits with strawberry in the center, you're going to have those now, today, forever, tonight, tomorrow, the next day, forever, again. What happens to the allure of it?
Right, it goes away.
Yeah.
Diminishes.
It does diminish. And so this is essentially what you're telling yourself. I will never, ever again reduce food or drink under the context of body image. My body image, even up to 500 pounds, is acceptable as long as I'm conscious. I can go blind. I can get my legs cut off. I could have a stroke and lose the right side. As long as I'm somewhat conscious, I have power, right? I mean, look at Dr. Stephen Hawking. I mean, What does he need to be the most powerful brain on the universe?
Just
consciousness.
His brain.
You mean consciousness?
His consciousness.
Thank you. He has nothing, but yet he's capable of talking about wormholes and opening up the universe and amazing genius, right?
Right.
What would happen to his amazing genius if he said, well, body, this isn't working for me. You're ruining my life here. Would he be able to access such incredible heights of intelligence? No, no, not if he feels punished by the body. It wouldn't be possible because he would be then stuck in a state of survival. He doesn't need the body in any given form at this point. He's accepted the degradation of his body. And he's actually continuing to go into the degradation without conditions around it. So he's accepted everything and has continued. So the body, where did the body image in terms of function, capacity, looks, sexuality, where did all of that go? Is it even in his peripheral vision consciously?
No.
Nope. It's like he's completely let that go, which allows him access to what we're talking about. So if you let this whole body image thing go completely out of your vision, conscious visual, right? Your conscious peripheral vision, it's not even included except for fun, right? Like putting on a dress, putting on earrings. That's kind of fun. It's just play. It's like it's like playing dress up for the rest of your life.
Right.
It's not, you don't have to take it serious. So if that's all that is, so then what happens to your hierarchy of needs in terms of what you need to survive? If there's no peripheral vision of body image, what's left?
It just goes back to the food and water, safety,
community.
The community.
Well, you tell me, how do you feel about your life and about who you are with body image completely out of the peripheral vision?
I feel like I would have a lot of time on my hands, but no, I just feel like there would be an unlimited amount of freedom.
Okay, and how does that feel in terms of looking at yourself now? How do you feel about yourself with that completely eliminated? It doesn't exist.
I would love to be free of it.
Okay, I want you to go into that freedom. How do you feel about yourself now with that completely free?
Well, I feel great.
For how do you feel about yourself with it included?
With the
body image included.
I feel like I am being strangled all the time and in a space that's too small for me, and I can't breathe, and I'm chained.
You mean awful? It feels awful.
Yes.
It feels like suffering. Feels like damnation. Feels like plague, or it feels like an obsessive-compulsive paranoia. Feels like depression.
It touches every part of my life. Whereas if I had freedom from not thinking that would also touch every part of my life in the complete opposite way.
How do you feel about yourself when you remove the idealic worship of body image through health, image, or performance? How does it feel to have that completely erased from your conscious?
Well, I still feel happy with myself.
You should feel more loving than you've ever had.
Where I am.
Yeah. You should feel more love than you ever have for yourself. And not egoic love of self.
It isn't just the one area.
Yeah. You should feel whole. You should feel good. You should feel worthy. You should feel free. You should feel powerful. Endless opportunity.
Yes.
If you, without the body image, even though it's all around you in our culture, the fact that you have by choice eliminated it, how does that feel? You have rejected a social ideal. How does that feel?
Just extremely empowering.
Okay, empowering. because it is a choice you're making.
Yes.
And it's a choice you're making for your spiritual health and well-being.
Yes.
So for the first time, you're actually defending you're actually not defending, but you're protecting and you're honoring. I love the word honor because you're putting your spiritual consciousness above some social idealism. How does that feel? Empowering.
It feels great. It feels empowering, and yes, I like when you said the word whole. It makes me feel whole, like, I'm not, there isn't anything wrong with me.
No, you're complete, you're whole, good enough,
Good.
It is done, and now what?
Now I get to live in freedom.
You got it. And it's not gonna go away. What happens now to the vulnerability of getting sucked back in?
I don't know that it would be an area of vulnerability anymore.
You're correct, 100%. The people who are vulnerable have not gone through that door. They are sitting at the door. I have a lot of clients who are sitting at the door. They take one leg and put it out, and they say, but I got to keep one leg in just in case I need to lose weight. Right?
Right.
And then they realize that one leg in the diet culture is just vicious. You can't survive it with even one leg in it. Right?
Right.
So you're either like, even with one leg in, that takes over the whole. You can't have one leg out and one leg in. It's basically one leg in is the whole because it takes over your brain processing.
Right.
So once that's where you've been, which is like sucked back in, your friend being on a detox, you're like, oh my God, that could be the last thing ever to work. Oh my God. And you get sucked back in and you go back into the binge cycle and you don't even know what happened. It must be the food. It's so addicted. It makes you have cravings because it's like a narcotic. And that's what addiction's about, right?
Right. No, it just made me feel like I wasn't strong enough, had enough willpower, was good enough to understand this.
Okay, the willpower. So if you step through that door because you are choosing that the body image is not what you want in your life, and you leave and you exit that door, you are now empowered. Does it need willpower?
No, not at all. Willpower is totally gone. It's a thing of the past.
Yeah, willpower is something that would describe something they don't want to do. Right. It's not for them. It's not intrinsic at all. It's an extrinsic thing they're doing for someone else or for some reward that someone else provides them. That takes willpower.
Right.
But this is empowering, meaning you have the power. It's your decision. Right. You just left with your decision. So now what happens the next? Oh my God, have you seen this Dr. Oz's new diet? It's the newest thing.
Kind of one of those in one ear, out the other, maybe with an eye roll. Do like, great.
You go, good for you. You keep on working on that.
Right.
Someday you're going to be the thinnest, strongest person with the biggest willpower.
Right.
There's so much research more in this. If you stay in that environment, did you know your intelligence goes down?
I do not doubt that.
I know, because your brain, you're not getting any oxygen to the prefrontal cortex. It's all going to the limbic system, which is survival and emotion. Like that part of your brain is way too active. So your cognitive ability to understand emotions is way down. Behavioral problems way up. So as soon as you leave this door and you are whole, meaning all of your needs are met with whatever you have, right? You don't put a condition around it. All of a sudden, your intellect is about to skyrocket because you're getting more oxygen to the prefrontal cortex, more activity. You'll notice some of the symptoms are curiosity, just not having pressure to perform. Your goals are more lenient. You're more likely to get caught just staring at trees and just loving them and just being in awe with nature. You're going to have more compassion for people who are obese and who are also obsessed with dieting. Even though we can sit here and make fun of it and it's just god awful and it's really not good at all. What good comes out of it? Actually, very little. We can feel bad for it and sad for it and just be like, it's an awful place to be, but you know what? It is a stage and some people have to go through it to move forward. So don't judge the process. It took a lot to get you to this point, hasn't it?
Yes.
A lot of trial and error. Trial and error, trial and error. The same exact trial with the same exact error for years. And and it comes in so many different cloaks, and the wolf wears a ton of different types of sheep's clothing, like a detox, right?
Right.
Like food addiction. Really? That's another one. My God, you're addicted to food. That's just a sign people don't really understand it. That's very, very naive. But they'll use it to gain power over you. They'll fearmonger the hell out of you and get you to do their sugar detox.
Right.
As they make a ton of money on it, all the while you binge your brains out, and they tell you it's because you didn't do the detox right.
Right.
You're just, it's like when do you get the wisdom that you just take the wisdom of all this and use it now? Walk out the door. Never do this again. Let the body heal on itself. It gives you all that freedom. And when you make the decision because it's yours, it's not because I have led you there, right? I've led you there. You can take a horse to water. You can't make them drink unless they really trust the water and they trust you. It's not even about trusting me anymore, is it?
No, not at all, because you speak the truth.
Well, that's because all I'm speaking is what you've done and you're recognizing that. So I'm not telling you something that's outside of your own experiments, right? It's correct. You have a context of what I'm talking about, so you can tell. So it's like you said at the beginning of this, like I can see very clearly now that there is a very clear and defined exit here. Where you could say for decades you didn't know that exit even existed. It didn't even feel like there was an exit, did it? Did there?
Yes.
It just goes in circles.
Yes, that is true.
And that's so maddening. That's so maddening. But now that there is a true exit, you get to process. You are giving up every stinking diet that provides that glimmer of hope that this could be the one thing that's going to change your life forever, right?
Right.
You're giving that up. You're giving up control over food. You're giving up the euphoria of starting a diet. Oh my God, I'm going to start a diet on Monday. That's really euphoric, isn't it?
Yes.
You're also giving up the excuse to binge. You're going to need to grieve that.
Yes.
Like, I'm never going to do that again. There's no excuse to do that now because I'm never going to diet. So if I choose to overeat, I have to accept the consequences, and I'm not going to do a damn thing to fix it. So you better slow down how you're processing fun, stress, excitement. You have to slow down and learn to process. If there's never going to be a diet again to enable you weak and incapable that needs willpower, what are you going to use to not overeat in a moment that you feel you deserve it?
I'm just going to listen to my body because I won't need to deserve it or not deserve it because it's not even the question.
Good job, honey. That doesn't exist for people who don't diet. You caught it. I was like, there is no negotiation. There's no deserving food. The only people who deserve food are people who have been deprived. That's the addiction, people. If you've deprived yourself of food, what do you think is going to be negotiating for it? That first hierarchy of need, right? What is going to lose to that? Is there anything that's going to, win? What lawyer in terms of survival would negotiate with the survival mechanisms that want to negotiate for food? Who's going to win? Food.
Right.
There's no freaking detox that can get rid of that. Question the integrity, people, of the entire health, fear-based, mongering, food, crazy. Just question the entire process. Because there is no human being alive that's smarter than that process of survival with food. There is no detox program. There is no amount of willpower that can get you through that. That's like saying you're bigger than God. You're bigger than your own creator. Like, I know more than he does, and I am better. My approach is way better than that. It's like, yeah, no, it's actually not. Right? And what you're doing is you're seeing that right now, and you're saying, oh, and there's no winning. I'm never going to win with that environment. The only way for you to win is to relieve yourself of the burden of it. That means you don't pick the battle. You're basically holding up a white flag, and you're saying, body, you win. Food survival mechanisms, you win. You win. I am surrendering all of my diets. Every single one on the face of this planet, cloaked as if they're healthy. I am surrendering it all. Because none of them, created by the, by the money-hungry ego of men and women, it's never going to work. So you might just want to surrender it all. By choice. And you basically, by choice, you're saying, and that means that the body I have is perfect. It's providing me health, life, and I have consciousness. And on top of that, I have my legs, I have my hands, I don't have a disease that is life-threatening. I can stop behavior that is causing disease. So much freedom.
Right. If my contract was to simply have consciousness, it is going above and beyond every minute that I have more than consciousness.
Yeah, the fact that you are intellectually processing this, it is giving you that gift. Unbelievable, right?
Yes.
So now your life can continue. It's no longer on hold. You have everything you need. All of those emotions you were chasing are now available to you. Peace, calm, safety, sense of worth, confidence in yourself, confidence in your environment. Meaning you can handle anything that's thrown at you. You can handle this. What can't you handle, really?
I would say that that's true.
That's how I felt. I'm like, seriously? I almost killed myself. I could handle murder. I know what that's about. I almost did it to myself. I could handle morbid obesity. I'm accepting that. I accepted mental illness and I got over that. What else can't I handle? Next to my children getting murdered in front of my face, what can't I not handle? Nothing. This is easy. We live in luxury. Do I really need to be so afraid of the food? Do I really need to have life and death fear over food? Really? To where I have to be obsessive over it, paranoid about it, to where I have to fearmonger my children, tell them they're gonna die. For reals? Is that what this life is about? Seriously? Anyways, I know I'm proselytizing now.
Yeah, I hear you.
So yeah, once you step through that door and you do it by your own choice, not by, I hope this works. Robin said to do it, I'll try it. Once you actually do it and it is your choice, because you know, you can see it clearly. You know if you stay where you're at, you're accepting all of this drama and damage. And on the other side of that door is complete, total freedom. You just have to accept the body as it is.
Right.
That's it. Add weight to it. That's what I did. I said, screw it. I'm not just going to accept it right now because I got to defend it. I'm going to add some fat to that body. If I'm going to step through this door, I accept the body up to morbid obesity. I don't ever want to care about this again.
Right.
It's amazing what the body's capable if you just let it be.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer your deal. Now it can heal on its own accord. What happens to the pressure now between how much weight you need to lose by when, and what happens to the type of obsessive overweighing yourself, body checking, body monitoring, looking at your clothes, looking at your waistline, looking in the mirror? I mean, what happens to all that?
It all goes away, as does the saying no to going out with friends, or no to going to an event, or no to doing something and just saying hiding, because that's all part of it.
So guess what? You can go out dancing. Did you watch the
Yes.
one YouTube video of another client who passed through that door?
Oh, yes.
She's like, I went dancing in this body. And it was the funnest time ever. And I have been withholding myself from that life forever. Since she was a child. So she's what, in her 30s, done having kids, and for the first time she actually danced and let her body roll on the dance floor.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yep.
It's your choice.
Yes. I can clearly see that right at this moment. Yes.
Yeah, and go into it without distraction. Lay on the floor, lock the door, lay there and process the release of the ideal body, the imagery behind the body, and go into a body you've had before and go and say, that was good enough then.
Right.
And then go into what happens if you lose weight. Do you really want to care?
No, I don't.
No, so you're detached from all of it. Whether you're at the ideal weight or you're 50 pounds heavier, it's like none of it is going to influence whatever you do because it's not yours, it's the body's.
Right.
You don't want responsibility for it. You don't want responsibility for maintaining it. You don't want responsibility for fixing it. You're basically accepting that you don't have what it takes, and nor are you going to pretend. And you're not going to listen to everybody else who's pretending like they have what it takes, and they're going to charge you for that information as if they know more than the human body itself.
Right.
Yeah, and that they've taken into account the impulses to hoard food when food is threatened, right? How many diets actually take into account the fact that when food is threatened, when food is being taken away, how many of them take that into account when they say you can't eat this food? These foods make you fat. Foods you should never give your children. Do they have a clue what they're doing when they say things like that?
No.
Of course they don't. If they did, if they truly understood, would they even have headings like that?
No, not at all. Mm-hmm. And it's the same, though, for the programs where you eat every 3 hours or every, so often, where you always have your stash.
You got it.
But you're never deprived. It's the same thing.
I know.
To be deprived without or to be deprived with, it's still deprivation.
Correct. You're such an expert at this, by the way. I mean, I should not look so smart now. Oh my God, Robin, you're so smart. No, I'm not, actually. It's just trial and error at its best. This isn't about intelligence, is it?
No. It isn't. It's, it really is, it goes back to when people define forgiveness as giving up that the past will ever be anything different. And that's how I feel like we've come to this, at this moment in time today, is that it's a giving up that anything that I've done is ever going to be any different. Whether I did it in the past or do it in the future, it's never going to have a different outcome. The only outcome is to say, all right, the only change I'm going to make is to say that if nothing changes in the way my body looks today till the end of time, that is just fine with me, and that isn't going to prevent me from doing anything in the future.
Yeah, you're giving yourself the freedom you thought you would give yourself when you were thin. You are going to give it to yourself now. There's no condition around it anymore.
Right.
Because actually, you are withholding experience as if being fat is not worthy of experience. Would you ever withhold experience from another person who's fat?
No.
Of course not. Because that's abusive.
Right.
So you're actually recognizing the abuse. And the abuse and the means to the end. The abuse and the detox. The abuse in the diet. The abuse in the lifestyle change. If the context is to lose weight for approval, to lose weight to force health, to lose weight to feel better about myself, abusive, abusive, abusive. It's just... It's a very conditional, controlled environment that most people would not encourage other people to do it like that, except for the crazies in the diet culture who actually are making money abusing other people.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of them don't even know that's what they're doing. They don't realize they're teaching abuse and psychological problems. Right. They have it themselves, and they actually think that what they're doing is healthy.
Right, and making them happy.
Correct. Yeah. I know. Gosh, and you know what? They probably hear what we just said and think that we're the unhealthy crazies.
Right. Right.
Don't you know there's an obesity epidemic? Oh my God, this is the worst thing you could tell people.
Well, that could be, but I've spent a lot of my years being crazy.
It's true. So it's like, well, to each your own.
To be happy, and that doesn't make any sense at all.
I know, especially since you're about to experience true, raw happiness in an obese body.
Right.
What does that tell you?
That it's first of all, that it's totally possible.
It's totally possible, and it's not a physical problem.
Right. No, it is not. That I have known for a long time. So just hearing it again and again, I know that it's not anything my body's doing wrong.
Mm-mm. Really, it comes down to this decision.
It does.
I know. It's like the moment you walk out this door, it's over. It's over. Like you've actually solved the psychological problem. You've actually solved the spiritual problem. You are now giving the body respect and love without condition. It started with conditions. It's like I tell people the way out isn't through at all. You have to back out the way you came in and unravel what you weaved together.
Ooh, I just got that.
Thank you. I know you've heard me say it before, haven't you?
Yes, but I just got it because I visualized myself backtracking.
Yeah, you're basically forgiving the beliefs. You're reconciling the beliefs and forgiving the beliefs and unwinding the beliefs that created this need to lose weight to feel better. You're basically saying the reason why I need to feel better is because I need to love who I am. I need to go in and respect who I am and give my own spirit honor above this cultural ideology. And so to do that, that's what you do. So you basically say, I am rejecting cultural ideology. I do not want it involved in how I feel secure in myself, how I feel socially secure. I don't want cultural ideology included.
Yep, and I'm just going to walk backwards through the door and just close it.
And be done.
And just be done with that.
Yep, and give yourself the time and grace you need to learn what hunger feels like, to learn what it feels like to have this weird, like, oh, I wish I could eat, and not be like, no, it's not an option. All right, moving on. You just move forward, right? There is a specific period of learning and a normal, natural learning curve. And what you'll notice is that no matter how long you've tried to eat to hunger, that you never had this environment, which means it would have been impossible before.
Right, and that is why I have struggled, because I haven't made
I know.
the choices that, yep.
Yeah. It doesn't work for people who are in survival and who have to lose weight. It just doesn't work for them. It can. It's not survival oriented. It doesn't align with the pressure, does it?
Right.
So they have to find something more stringent, more controlling. They need more safety than eating to hunger. Plus, there's no room to grow and learn. It has to be perfect immediately.
Right.
And that right there means it's not going to work. So now you're going to get what it means to have that freedom and to not have it based on your body image. It has nothing to do with body image. Food, your need for food has absolutely nothing to do with body image. That's actually a true statement.
I would say that it is aligned more with the journey. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but is part of the process, not the end result.
Well, no, I want you to. Yes, I want you to hold on a second, though.
Okay.
Body image, what you see in the mirror, legitimately has nothing to do with the biology behind eating to hunger.
Yes, with the biology. That is correct.
With the biology, with the function, with the whole point or purpose of food, the nutritional value of food, all of that has absolutely zero to do with your body image.
Right.
The body image is based on social approval. Feeling like people approve of you. That's a very different problem than food. And do you see why this would become so elusive to understand? When you take social and cultural approval and put it in direct competition with the functions of food biologically, can you see why people get confused? It's like with fitness as well. I exercise like eating discounts exercise. You know how many times people have said, oh my God, I ruined the exercise I did today because they ate something?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see how like confused people are? But they don't question they don't question any of that. They actually believe that it's honorable and that it's that there's sense to it.
Right, because that's what we're taught. Calories in, calories out. The number is the number.
Yeah, and your
really
food is the reason why we eat is to look better.
Right.
Anyways, all right. So I am really looking forward to our next session. When do you want to talk again? Do you want to talk on Friday?
Friday.
Yeah,
yes.
Let's do it. Hey, thanks for letting me share this.
Of course.